Hi everybody, welcome to Vorn's Ethics class.
Maybe don't trust Vorn with your ethics lessons.
No.
I swear, the day that Vorn becomes an ethics teacher, I think that's the day that we're all doomed.
The Anime Club, folks. So I'm back with Nick Knack, Realm Shifter, the Great Lord Vorn, and Seki.
So, Nick Knack, when are you going to host your political theoretics class?
Never. So this week we watched The Weakest Tamer Began a Journey to Pick Up Trash.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call it, the trash anime.
This is, okay.
Or as I call it, another slime anime.
Okay, and as I'm going to call it, the anime that is anything but trash.
Yeah, this came out of the random hat. But this is mine. I think I put it in.
Yeah.
And shocked myself 3 days after putting it in because I just texted Nick Knack and I was like, Nick Knack, I can't remember what we're supposed to be watching.
Me and Seki were on the same wavelength.
Yeah, but you texted it 2 days ago.
Oh, I know, but still.
I texted it a week and a half ago.
Oh, I know, but still. Miku B.
What's funny is I didn't remember this name off the top of my head either. I looked it up till I found the one that approximately looked like the right anime. So Vorn could reveal to us in 2 seconds that I passed misinformation off to the rest of the group.
Oh God, did you?
No, I don't think so. It matched the trailer we watched. Pretty damn down to the.
You didn't tell me.
wire.
You just said like it's some kind of trash anime kind of thing.
Excuse me.
That's all you told me.
Well, I think 99.9% chance that we got the right anime.
Well, I mean, there isn't another one with this same name.
Yeah.
Because it is shortened to Weakest Tamer, so long as you got Weakest Tamer, you would have gotten the right anime. But yes, this is The Weakest Tamer Began a Journey to Pick Up Trash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to attempt that in Japanese.
I don't even have it in me to like say the whole name.
It's just really long. I mean, I could read that out, but like it's very long.
Exactly.
Saijaku tema wa gomi hiroi no tabi o hajimemashita.
Good job, Nick Knack. Good job. You get a
Congrats.
You
read
get
it off the Wikipedia page.
You get.
I didn't even read the kanji. I read the romaji.
Yeah. Congrats. You get a medal for attempting. Golf clap. Anyways, so do we have any other thoughts about this anime? I mean, I guess Seki, do you want to lead us off since this was your random pick?
Well, I feel like maybe we should. I do want to. Normally, I start talking about the animation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So just now, the animation studio for this ran me on a little bit of a runaround because it's labeled as being done by Studio Mascat. But based on what I can find, Studio Mascat is only primarily credited in like 4 or 5 shows, like Sasaki and Miyano. I was reincarnated as the 7th prince, so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. Lycoris Recoil, Blue Lock, and Hell's Paradise, Jigo Kurako, and this. But they're credited in about 60 other animes, including One Piece, as like single episode animation director, key visual, secondary key visual. Because it appears that they are a Chinese studio headquartered in Tokyo that was founded in 2017 that does a lot of assisting animation work. So they don't do a lot of their own like whole anime series. Which was interesting because I didn't think this was badly done. I thought it was quite good.
No, and their pedigree is pretty good too. Lycos Rico and Blue Lock are both pretty big anime names.
Sasaki and Miyano is also really popular. Yeah. So it's not a bad.
It's definitely no slouch in the animation department. I'll give it that. It's got some very gorgeous visuals.
Oh yeah.
Just a little funky about all the stuff that they've contributed to. Like for example, they contributed to like Ascendance of a Bookworm, Attack on Titan, Banana Fish, Black Clover, Carol and Tuesday, Cells at Work, Dragon Goes House Hunting, Fina Pirate Princess, The God of High School. So like we've already technically seen their work because The God of High School.
Well, we didn't watch that for the channel. We didn't.
Oh, well.
I only watched like 1 episode of that. So.
Well, I've seen it. My bad. I got it mixed up with the other one.
Solo Leveling?
Nope. Tower of God. That's it.
Mm.
Yeah.
My Hero Academia, Ruby. Let's see, Skate the Infinity, Star Wars Visions for the Ninth Jedi.
Oh my god!
What the heck?
That's like the best one to come out of Star Wars Visions.
They assisted in that.
So they're pretty. So for a support studio, they're pretty stacked then.
Trigun Stampede, Vivi Fluorite's Eye, Tokyo Revengers. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. Talked OP Destiny. I mean, I'm only listing out the ones that I know you guys will know.
Yeah, you
There's
just
about
listed off
30
some
more.
really impressive animation. So they've been running support for a lot of big anime names, animation wise,
Yeah.
and it sounds like they just take on the occasional side project that they.
That they do themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. So there's clearly a lot of talent even behind this one singular support studio, which is pretty amazing, honestly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, good for them. I mean, yeah, you can definitely see the quality. Like, obviously, they've worked on a lot of other really great anime. When it comes to animation, especially, I mean, like, I know Carol and Tuesday, like, its animation was absolutely fucking stunning. It's part of the draw for the series. Obviously, Star Wars Visions, like, some of these names are huge.
I watched Vivi pretty much entirely for the animation initially, so.
Yeah, so even if they're only like a supporting studio, it's still impressive that they're consistently being asked to work on all these pretty high-profile projects.
And also, they're very variable in their genre right there.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
do
like,
about
damn.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is quite impressive, I think.
Yeah.
The OP and the ED I thought were pretty good. I don't think there was anything special about them, but then again, I've seen so many isekai OPs.
Honestly, I'm gonna sit here right now. This has probably the best, like, at least one of my personal favorite EDs out of at least the genre that we've seen thus far. I'd say the only other kind of top the only kind of other ED that really tops it for me would be like one of Overlord's EDs, because all around the soundtrack for Overlord is just really good.
High praise.
Yeah.
I found the gimmick with the OP where she's singing the first few lyrics kind of funny.
Yeah.
It was nice for me, but not exactly always the best.
It was solid, but it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, obviously moving past that, the name kind of tells you exactly what the point of this anime is.
Yep.
I kind of disagree, actually. I think I was surprised that it didn't follow. The trash part was very unimportant.
Honestly, I would. Honestly, I mean, I guess the trash part of the title is a little bit subjective on the way that you want to look at it, but that's another aspect of the show that I think actually is a lot more interesting.
Trash can include human trash.
Exactly. My point exactly.
Yeah.
So that kind of gets into part of the theme of this show. So we have our main character. I admittedly I don't really remember the given name of the character.
It's 3 letters, Ivy.
No, not
that's
Ivy.
her new name.
Her new
Yeah,
new
but
name.
still.
I'm talking about
It's-
the original, the original.
No,
name. It starts with an F.
Mama.
It starts with an F. I can't remember it, but anyways, I'll just go by Ivy. It's easier anyways. So we start kind of in medias res as far as this is concerned. She's already on the move from her village because she is considered a heretic. This is basically like a witch hunt that's happening against this 8-year-old little girl. And the village is trying to hunt her down because she is starless and forsaken by the gods.
I got depressed during I almost got depressed during those first 3 episodes. That was so fucking sad.
Yeah.
Oh, good. It made you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to cry during this anime. I didn't, but I almost wanted to. Yeah, it was definitely a tearjerker. I equate it to eating a spicy bowl of food. It was really good. I didn't want to stop eating it, but man, every bite was trauma, and then a little bit of sweetness afterwards.
Okay.
Yes, that's the way I equated this anime too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you for your food review.
Yes, you're welcome. I honestly should save that one next for Dungeon Meishi.
Seki looks absolutely perplexed right now. Like, I realize we're not on camera, so y'all can't see it. But, like, her facial response to Realm's, like, letterbox review, yes, was just something else.
Yeah. Seki's also enjoying her boba as well.
What do you have to say about this, Knick-Knack?
I thought it was really good. I was a little bit less impressed with the final arcs of the story, but the first, like, 2/3 of it at least, I thought was just really, really well done. Not the final arc occasionally got a little bit ass-pully, but, you know, otherwise, like, I thought it was a very good watch. I watched it all in one go, actually, for once.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, she literally, it was literally the day we pulled it. I went home, decided to start watching it, didn't stop watching it, and then she came by for, she stopped by and she saw I was, like, almost done with the series.
I got by at like 1 a.m.
Nah. It was like 10 when you showed up. 10 p.m.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thought it was much later.
Apparently not. I will say, though, admittedly, as much as I did end up enjoying the series, it wasn't quite what I was expecting, because since it was a isekai and it seemed to have a pretty fluffy art style, I was admittedly expecting something a little more lighter in tone, more T.H.E-esque.
That was my initial thought of it, too, is I thought it was going to be more of an T.H.E about more... we've seen the anime get, and she finds a slime and she spends the entire anime picking up trash, but the trash really doesn't come into play much, and it's a lot more focused on her journey than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's more about her trying to, come to terms with the fact that her family essentially doesn't want her. And that she instead has a found family instead that she can then trust. And honestly, even though this is technically an isekai, it's a little bit interesting in the way that it goes about it, because there's the special ringing bell that you hear whenever a thought from the previous life that you that comes up. It's like, oh, a little ringing inside my head. And it's a little bit of a different approach to how a lot of isekais do, where we see Ivy is very much her own person. It's just that also she seems to contain some memories of her past life that come in and out sporadically, and tries to give commentary and maybe helpful advice along the way, or maybe a quip, depending on the situation.
See, I felt like that aspect was a bit needless, though, and maybe it's just because I'm sure this series does not animate or does not adapt the entire novel, and the novel is still ongoing. But at least for what we watched, it felt kind of tacked on. Like, it doesn't really come into play at all. We don't really get any kind of explanation on how that works, or if that's at all related to her being starless. It's just kind of a thing that happens, and I don't know. It feels like we just checked a box to make it an isekai.
Honestly, I think it probably serves more of a purpose in the light novel, because we probably actually get some proper narration, I'd imagine, out of this. I don't know if Seki, have you read any of these, or no?
No.
No, okay. Just thought I'd ask.
Why does the bottom of my boba taste like olives?
Was that what your facial expression was earlier for?
So you were saying, Realm?
Okay, so I was saying, I would imagine that this show takes some not inspiration. It takes some liberties in the way that that kind of aspect is portrayed from the light novel. They tried to do something creative with it, but like what you said, Knick-Knack, it feels like it was overall unimportant to the story, it seems. So I think there probably was some context that did get lost insofar as the adaptation is concerned. I did, however, appreciate the aspect of what they tried to do with it, though I do wish that they could have gone a little bit further with it if there was more substance there in the light novel.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't expect y'all to be positive about this with as much shit as you give isekais these days.
Did I not just get done like glazing this season's big isekai? And is one of my favorite anime not like an isekai? Like I don't hate isekai.
I know.
I just hate like cookie cutter isekai that are just I got reincarnated as a slime, but again with a slightly different like sprinkle on top.
Mm-hmm.
I think what me and Nick personally are probably mostly fed up with a few exceptions sprinkled in here and there, are a lot more of the power fantasy-esque self-insert kind of protagonists that a lot of isekais seem to have these days. Not all of them, but it also seems that that's kind of the general genre attraction that isekai has.
Guilds or villages with faux gaming elements.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We get it. We get it. The author is also a gamer, or at least kind of vaguely understands gaming to an extent.
Yep.
Yeah, we get it. But we don't need to see all those video gaming aspects.
If I wanted to see video gaming aspects, I'd go play a video game.
Yes, I will go play an RPG. I will go play an RPG instead.
Yeah.
I'll go summon my persona. So, I think it mostly like when an isekai tries to actually do something new, it's a breath of fresh air, honestly.
I think Ivy as a character is a very, very fascinating character, to be honest.
Mm.
Yes.
Like, I think she's pretty well written, all things considered. Like,
Mm-hmm.
any complaints I have about the kind of tacked on isekai element aside, I really, really like Ivy as a character.
Yeah, she's not an insufferable protagonist. We can see her struggling in the situation that she's been put in and trying to make the best of it. Instead of going into maybe the edgelord path, she's actually still rather optimistic, though rightfully scared.
And her shortcomings are pretty damn believable given her background. And I like how the world doesn't portray those shortcomings as being correct. Like, she clearly has trust issues, and you get that in some of the towns she stops in. But like about halfway through the series, it's made clear that no, her village is the outlier, the weird ones. But because she's been conditioned by living in that village, she doesn't realize that just traveling around, that most places aren't just going to hand her over to the first people looking for her from her village.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the whole underlying theme as well. But also, I kind of like the sort of found family situation that she kind of ends herself up in, kind of towards the end of the series itself, where she's made friends, lots of connections and everything, to kind of give her that semblance of normalcy that she had in her formative years with her parents. And it's not that far from reality in and of itself. Sometimes kids don't end up having the best relationship with their biological parents. It's an unfortunate reality, but it does happen. And so sometimes a found family is honestly just as helpful.
Seki and Vorn have both been quiet so far. I feel like we've been dominating the conversation realm. What do you guys have to say here?
I mean, I kind of knew that we were in like for a hard spot due to us watching trailer, but like I was expecting that it was going to be much more lighthearted. Like remember like that guard captain and like the vice guard captain. I thought she was actually going to stay with them, like when they first met, but like no, it didn't. And like I can understand due to the PTSD, but like I thought that like they would work it out, but like, the story definitely went in a different direction than even I was anticipating. So yeah.
Zeki?
I didn't like this as much as you guys.
What?
Yeah.
What a twist.
That's fine.
It was fine,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't really like it that much.
Mhm.
I for me, like what you guys all saw as like sad and kind of poignant, just didn't feel like enough to me. Didn't really feel all the. Maybe it's because I regularly read stories that get like very, very emotional. Like that's one of the things I look for in stories is like heavy emotions and stuff. But this just kind of didn't hit like as strongly for me as it did for you guys.
I see.
I thought it was cute. I thought the animation was really well done. I like Ivy. But for me, it felt a little, I hate to use the word contrived, but I'm struggling to find another word, like, in the place of contrived. It felt a little contrived that, like, the main part of, like, the angst of the series is that, like, her village hates her, but oh no, don't worry, as she travels, everyone else doesn't have that same problem. It's fine. Like, this is just this one place, and everyone else is going to treat everyone super... I just didn't love it. For me, that felt a little...
Too idealistic?
A little like a created problem as opposed to a natural issue that she was running into and having to deal with. If the, not to be that person, but if the hate for these people had been more widespread, I think it would have been more natural feeling for me, rather than it being an isolated phenomena essentially in the story.
I think like the reason why it seems like that is because the village was more of like a cult personality kind of a thing rather than like a world war.
Yeah, it is.
Like
it is effectively an escaping from a cult story.
Yeah.
That, like that's one of the biggest twists. Like for me, that was one of the the best twists in the series is partway through when they're like, oh yeah, nobody likes what's going on in this village.
Yeah. We even learned pretty early on in the series, kind of like after Ivy left, that village kind of went to shit.
It's like if you walked out of, I don't know, North Korea, and then someone starts talking about the geopolitics of North Korea, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the world building elements I really liked.
Yeah.
I just think it didn't go far enough.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Like I can see your point. I get it. I just did end up enjoying this one because I think it was because both me and Nick Nack probably went into this expecting a much more feel-goody type anime. So when our expectations were completely shattered, it hit a lot deeper than we were expecting.
I didn't go into this thinking of it as feel-good. I knew the plot of this. Obviously, I put it in.
Yeah.
I expected something more angsty. And I didn't get that. It was just a little too... Ironically, where you guys were expecting feel-good and it wasn't very feel-good, for me it was too feel-good for what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And so I felt sort of disappointed because I didn't get, I think, the full strength of the emotional payout that I wanted. But I mean, like I said, I do prefer, like, when I am reading, I do genuinely, when doing personal reading, like to read things that break me, you know, like break characters apart. Like, I like to read things that make me cry and sob and sad and then fix it.
Well, that tends to be my taste too, and you will remember earlier on I brought up that I did feel like especially the last arc got a bit too ass-pully. Like, I feel like the last arc is a little too... Because, like, when I'm talking, I'm talking pretty much everything up until she leaves that, where she was a friend of the guards.
Yeah.
I like that stuff. It's when she gets into basically the end game, the found family party, where it's like, oh, now things are falling a little too cleanly into place. Now you're starting to get that. This is the
where is the PTSD? Where is the trauma? Where is the lingering issues that you have to work through using healthy coping mechanisms that need to be taught to you? Where is your party figuring out your triggers and how to work around you?
Right.
I wanted more.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it.
I think what this would have benefited from is honestly a time skip where Ivy still grows up.
I don't think this would have benefited from a time skip at all.
No,
because the point of this story is you need that redevelopment of bonds and learning about triggers and stuff like that. You don't just need to go from seeing her as like a traumatized child to like an okay like older child or older adult. you actually need that middle in more detail.
It
for
just
that
feels
type
like
of story.
the final conflict's built up to be a bit of a climax, and it has pretty much nothing to do with Ivy prior to that. Because that's where I was expecting it to go, was that it was a little bit more tied to Ivy's situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it had nothing to do with her, yet these characters meet her, and oh, they're trying to kidnap her now, and she look what she can do. She's this great kid who we're going to make. I don't know. I feel like the final arc just it felt too disparate from what came before for me. Because what came before, even like when she's with the guards, she's not putting her trust in those guards.
Yeah.
And suddenly, it feels like we sped ran that trust arc.
Mm-hmm.
From what I read off Wikipedia, this is actually 2 volumes. Like, this whole entire series is 2 volumes. With the first volume being up till she leaves the vice captain and the captain of that town, to the second volume then starts with her then meeting up the venturing team, if I remember correctly. So maybe we're missing some stuff from like the first volume, which actually helps, like explain some like why she's a bit more better trusting, and then like to the second volume where it then further goes on. So who knows? Maybe. I haven't read it, but like this is why I just saw off Wikipedia.
Yeah, possibly. I've not read the series, so it could be that the novels are more hard hitting, and I'd prefer them. Because I do find that often in this sort of thing, emotion can be carried better in a book for me, because you can just add so much more than in a limited anime series where you're kind of restricted by runtime and episode length and kind of needing to fit in a certain amount of stuff to make it sort of worth adapting.
And also to add to that, and since a lot of this, at least the first half of this series, is kind of like just kind of Ivy with her slime, Sora, we don't really get a lot of character interaction. Like, it's kind of a lot of show don't tell, but like we also don't get as much showing because it's mostly just Ivy kind of going around the world and doing things and not interacting with the characters as much. So we're not really getting to spend time inside of Ivy's head and really get to see that in-depth process going on.
Also, since like she's journeying around a lot, like we see the side characters for like a little bit, but then like we never see them again, which would probably further help like with character development for Ivy, I feel, possibly. So yeah.
Yeah. Waifu Wars.
Is there any waifus?
I have a waifu.
I do as well.
No, yeah, I guess I have a favorite character.
Yeah.
Is it time to move on, Nick Nack?
Yeah, I think it's time.
Or dost thou have more thoughts in thy head?
I mean, now that Warren brings up that they were 2 separate volumes, I can kind of see where the change happened easier, I guess. Because that part, like the final arc, it felt a lot more by the numbers isekai to me. Where everyone glazes the protagonist. And I guess that's probably where my biggest hang up with the series is that final arc. The protagonist glazing that goes on in that final arc. That just feels completely different in tone than the first. First volume.
That final arc right there where she's kind of just leading them all, and it's like that's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Right there. So
yeah. All right. Well, want to get started with Waifu Wars?
Yeah.
Waifu Wars.
Waifu
Wars.
Waifu Wars.
Nick Nack.
I actually need to think about this for a second.
Jesus fucking Christ, you had 2 weeks.
Okay, do you
Born.
Okay.
The vice captain.
Okay.
All right. Do you want me to go next?
Yeah.
CL, the big black cat, very good, best boy.
Okay.
Best.
Baker lady from that very first arc she stopped in from that town, and then we never got a name for it. She fled. A Baker lady offering another some extra.
Yeah.
Mine's Ogito, the captain.
Nice. All right.
Warren and I on the same wavelength here with the captain and vice captain.
Yes.
Nice. What do we have next?
I guess when I'm
Any free thoughts? Anything?
I mean, I'm right now. I'm just kind of trying to think of like a series I'd recommend, because the thing is, I don't watch a lot of anime that are darker like this, and I think that's because I find that sometimes anime struggle to communicate what's more easily communicated in manga or in novels, just because of limited runtime and stuff and that sort of thing. So it's hard for me to think of an anime with the same sort of emotional themes to recommend. Like, it's very easy for me to say, oh, well, there's a bunch of isekai I'd recommend based on this, right? Like, I say, you go watch any of the slime animes, you know, like By the Grace of the Gods, Slime 300 Nen, Slime Dataken, Campfire Cooking in Another World, which is also technically has slimes in it. But, like, you know, at the same time, like, none of those really feel...
No, I would say Grace of the God is the closest one of all those, so yeah.
By the Grace of the Gods is probably the closest. Honestly, I want to say Dungeon Meshi or Isekai Izakaya Nobu would be maybe a pair of good recommendations coming off this, because Isekai Izakaya Nobu has that same vibe where it's like definitely an isekai, and there's definitely meant to be a feel-good outcome, but it does tackle some like deeper emotional themes throughout the episodes. Although they are one-offs, it's not kind of like serially tackling the same things. It's all one-offs. And then Dungeon Meshi has like some level of like emotional maturity to it, especially if you read the manga. In my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. I just it's not the kind of vibe I usually watch in an anime. It's the vibe that I like read in a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. My recommendation is going to be a little bit interesting, though I think Nick Nack might understand where I'm coming from with this one. Persona 3. Because it's a much heavier in terms of its theming than this one, and actually but also kind of gives you that, almost that same kind of vibe that this story is trying to go for, where, you know, be hopeful even in the face of impossible odds. So it's kind of got similar aspects, but it also gets a lot darker at times than this show does. So that's where I base my recommendation off of.
I'm assuming you mean the game, not the movie.
Yes, not the movie. For the love of God, do not watch the movie. And also, for the love of God, do not go and read the manga. I went ahead and read it. It's not great.
I think we have reviews of the movies.
Yeah, we have reviews of the movies on this channel. But yeah, do not go and watch the movies. They are like screen caps in comparison to the absolute breadth that the games cover.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nick Nack, any recommendations?
Saki gave a face during the Persona 3 recommendation. I'm going to give a recommendation I think will make her give an even more horrified face.
I swear to God, if what comes out of your mouth has anything to do with the Nasuverse, you jump out that window right now. Head first.
Someone hold my dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come here, Jack. Uh-oh. Good thing that was empty.
Also, the way that I looked halfway through the recording thinking, where's the dog gone?
No, I was holding him the entire time. That's why I was silent for like the first quarter of that, because
moving.
I was trying to not... So, my recommendation is Fate Grand Order.
Oh boy.
But not for most of the game, actually. Legitimately, just for Avalon LaFay.
So the Avalon LaFay arc?
Yeah, the backstory of Ivy, that entire, like, early childhood trauma from being raised in a shitty village. That kind of shit does... That's where I, like... In my head, there's it's very, very Avalon LaFay. So that's my recommendation, even though that's a bit unrealistic. Maybe if you don't want to play 40 hours of a gacha game to get there, wait until that gets animated, because that chapter is pretty inevitably going to be animated, just because it's such a fan favorite.
Happy dog noises.
But yeah, that's my recommendation.
So, these are more arcs in the anime. Kanko's Journey, there are some very sad arcs in there. And Wandering Witch Journey of Eliza. And if you actually want an actual whole series, we've already reviewed this before, Death Parade.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You can also watch our craziness that happened during our review. That was funny.
Yeah.
I think that's it. So now it is time for me to announce what we are watching next.
Yeah, because you're a loser who lost every game of rock, paper, scissors for the past half year.
Oh wait, are we on that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, it's time. Yeah,
It's time now.
Alright, I didn't realize. I thought we were going to be rock, paper, scissoring today for some reason.
Nope.
No.
Nope. That was already done. That was already done a while ago.
No, he already lost every rock, paper, scissors game.
Actually,
Yeah.
he was even willing to forfeit it if Nick Nack didn't step in to do the rock paper scissors. I still ended up winning anyways.
Anyway, so I'm going to introduce them to an entire new genre, but we are going to take very, very little baby steps.
Oh boy.
So we are going to watch High Speed Alette.
Étoile.
Étoile. I can't speak French, okay? Damn it. I'm not French.
Alright, give me a second. I'm going to pull up the trailer here.
High speed étoile. Étoile means star.
Oh, okay. A lot of racing a lot of racing companies went and helped with that. Along with also, if you looked at the sponsors, there were just a shit ton as well as normal racing as their.
That sponsor splash page was listed every sports sponsor page. If you were to go watch TV sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, it looks interesting. I'm a little bit nervous about the animation. I don't know. Is that Studio Orange on that?
I don't remember really.
Well, we'll find out.
Let's see here.
It's no worries right now. But
I'm just curious.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it now, but we'll talk about it later. But I'm just curious. That was a Freudian slip. Calm yourself, Seki. That was a Freudian slip. Okay.
Yeah. So this will tell me if I should throw Initial D and the Initial D universe stuff into the hat right there. I most definitely will throw in Redline. We will watch Redline, that's for sure. Because that is just too cool. It does not matter if that's racing or not. That's just too cool. But we'll see if you guys will like this enough for me to go into a bit more further into racing stuff. So yeah.
All right. Well,
I've already seen it, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Vorn is incorrect. One of us already has been introduced to this genre.
All right.
I guess if you've already seen it, I don't need your full letterbox review. But looking forward to rewatching. Not looking forward to rewatching.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, it's got the Seki seal of approval for now.
For now.
For now.
Yes.
So yeah, anyone have any last thoughts here before we start wrapping up?
I think that's it from me.
All right, well, everyone, I hope you have a nice day, and remember to try harder, everyone.